Alright guys, I'm back with another weekly manga review video for Naruto, Bleach, and One Piece. It's been a very long time since I've done one of these. I am up to date on all the chapters now. I kind of slacked off on Naruto and Bleach for a little bit just because they were in these really long flashbacks. So I figured I'd wait until the flashbacks were over to start reading those two again. But I still read One Piece every single week, and my god, the stuff going on in One Piece blows my mind how Oda can come up with this. But I actually wanted to get back into doing the manga reviews a couple weeks ago, but Oda got sick. He had infected tonsils, so One Piece was kind of on a break for a couple weeks, and I wanted to wait for a week where we got all three chapters. So, starting with Naruto, chapter 633. I think where I left off, Orochimaru was trying to find these people who know everything. So Orochimaru, Sasuke, Jugo, and Suigetsu go and summon the former Hokages. And the first Hokage is telling Sasuke the story of the village, and that's where the flashback starts. And this was actually a really good flashback. He explains how he grew up with Madara. They became friends. They wanted to change the world so there would be no more killing. Unite the Senju clan with the Uchiha clan, and something happens. They get into a big fight, and it shows the fight between Madara and Senju, which was awesome. I've been disappointed with a lot of the fights in Naruto lately, but this one kicked ass. Senju summons some type of giant wooden statue with like 1,000 hands. It was cool. But anyways, at the end he explains that Madara had to go off and do his own thing, and at the end of this, long story short, Sasuke agrees not to destroy the village. He wants to go to the battlefield and help the other ninjas. And the Hokages go with him. So we got Orochimaru fighting now against Madara, along with the first 4 Hokages. So Madara's pretty much screwed, big time. I mean, the villains have nothing. They've got nothing. It's Tobi, Madara, and the Jubi. That's all they have. So they're rushing to the battlefield. Sasuke shows up. Team 7 reunites. Sakura and Naruto instantly trust Sasuke. And Sasuke says the reason he wants to help them is because he wants to be Hokage. And Naruto's like, I'm going to become Hokage. And later on, even Sakura's like, she's going to become Hokage. Like, that's ever going to freaking happen. But they all start working together. The other teams are skeptical at first of Sasuke, but then they agree that, okay, we'll trust him for now. We need the help. So they try to trap the Biju, or not the Biju, the Jubi, in this giant barrier that Senju puts up, and they go in to attack him, and all these little clone creatures start coming out of him. These monsters. It was like something out of Berserk, and they're all fighting against these monsters. And this was really cool. Sakura uses the little diamond thing like Tsunade, and she's able to punch one of these things and just punch it straight to hell. Sasuke uses his flames. Naruto uses the Rasengan, of course. And they're all fighting back to back. And then in this latest chapter, the other teams are fighting too. The Shikamaru team, the team with the bug guy, Shino, Kiba is using new techniques. The only team they didn't show was Rock Lee's team, with Rock Lee and Tenten. And I know Neji's dead, but damn. I mean, I'm a huge fan of Rock Lee. Can't he get something, ever? I mean, they haven't even shown him. They didn't even show his reaction to Sasuke. I'm like, what the hell is this? But the way the chapter ends is they're all fighting back. A lot of action in this week's chapter, and then they need to really push forward. So Naruto, Sakura, and Sasuke summon kind of like the 3 Sannin, Orochimaru, Jiraiya, and Tsunade. They summon a giant frog. Sakura's got the slug, and Sasuke summons a giant snake, which was really badass, and that's how the chapter ends. So really cool stuff going on in Naruto right now, and I'm actually excited again. So this was all good stuff. Bleach, chapter 540. I can't even remember the last thing that was happening in Bleach. But right now, Ichigo has lost his sword. It's broken. It can never be repaired. and he gets kicked out of Nemaya's soul palace. So he gets sent back to Earth, and his dad explains to him this flashback story about how his dad met his mom, and his mom saved him from one of those evil hollows that Aizen created. And she was very strong. She was a Quincy. And a bunch of stuff happens, but anyways, they have Ichigo, and the reason his mother died is Juha Bach, the Vandenreich leader. He was the first Quincy, so his blood flows through all of the Quincies, which means he is related to Ichigo. And 1,000 years, it takes him 1,000, I can't remember the exact number, it's like 9,000 or 7,000 years to wake up, for his heart to beat again. And then it took him 70 or 90 years, I'm just going to say 70 years, to, regain his mental capacities or something like that. And then it takes another 7 for him to get his strength. And in order to do this, he had to kill all the weaker Quincies that he deemed unworthy to live. And that's how he got powerful. And Ichigo's mother was one of the Quincies he killed. And that's why she was murdered. It wasn't really Grand Fisher, it was Juha Bach. So Ichigo finds all of this out, which does explain a lot, I guess. I thought it was well done. Some of it does kind of seem like an ass pull, that Kubo just kind of said, okay, here, this explains some stuff, but at the same time, I thought it was well thought out enough to make sense and didn't seem like an ass pull. So I don't really know if he had this plan the entire time. A lot of times in Bleach, I think he just writes it week to week, but it was entertaining, so that's the most important thing. But anyways, Ichigo learns this about himself, and he goes back to the Soul Palace. And Nemaya agrees to give him another chance to pick one of these dark Asuchi figures. So Ichigo grabs one and instantly absorbs it. And it turns into this clone-looking thing, kind of like Ichigo's inner hollow. And Nemaya summons these 5 women who help him prepare this thing into a weapon. And as he's creating it, he tells Ichigo that he has to say goodbye to, oh my god, what's his, Zangetsu. So Ichigo says, or Nemaya tells him that Zangetsu was never his real Zanpakuto. And that what he's making now is based out of Ichigo's inner hollow. This is his true Zanpakuto, the one he was always meant to have. So he has to say goodbye to Zangetsu, and we see Zangetsu. And then Nemaya says, surely you've figured it out by now. Zangetsu is Juha Bach from 1,000 years ago. So that was like, holy shit, that was pretty awesome. I really liked that. That was a nice touch. But what's going to be really awesome is Ichigo's new sword. That's a power-up that's actually going to be really cool, I think. One problem I have with Bleach is he gets these awesome power-ups, like when he turned into the devil thing to fight, I don't even know how you say his name because I don't watch the anime, Ulukara. I'm just going to say that. The guy with the bat wings. When Ichigo fights him and turns into that big demon thing, he never turns into that again. And that thing was super powerful. So I've been disappointed with some of the power-ups because he just never seems to use them. But with the new sword, this should be great. So I did enjoy Bleach this week. In fact, I would have to say Bleach might have been my favorite chapter, even though not a lot of stuff happened. It was a big reveal with Juha Bach being Zangetsu. And I don't know if it's the Nemaya character, I really love that character in Bleach. So on to One Piece, chapter 710. Oh my god, so much stuff has happened in One Piece. Even with the breaks, because of Oda's tonsils and some of the other breaks he's taken, still so much has gone on. I think the last thing that was happening was Don Quixote was heading to Punk Hazard. And he shows up, and the Straw Hats are already gone. So he goes up to Captain Smoker, and he's like, where are they? And actually, before he even does that, he takes out a ton of the G5 with that razor wire. And he goes up to Smoker, and he's like, where are they? And Smoker says he refuses to tell him, but he remembers Law saying we went to Greenbit. So Don Quixote is about to just destroy Smoker. He's just going to kill him. And Okiji shows up onto Punk Hazard, and he freezes Don Quixote. And Don Quixote just instantly breaks it. I guess because of his hockey. Excuse me. But he instantly breaks out of the frozen thing. And he decides to leave. And Okiji sits and talks with Smoker for a while. So then we see the Straw Hats, and they're going to Dressrosa, which is Don Quixote's kingdom. And they've got this big plan to have Don Quixote relinquish his title of Shikibukai in exchange for Caesar. Because if they kill Caesar and he can no longer produce those artificial devil fruits, then Kaidao, one of the 4 emperors, is going to be really pissed off. And I guess he's so strong, even Don Quixote is afraid of pissing this guy off. So Don Quixote agrees, he relinquishes the title, and they're going to meet him at Dressrosa to make the trade. Caesar Clown for him relinquishing the title. So the Straw Hats get there, they're walking around Dressrosa, they're wearing disguises, they split up into different groups, and all types of stuff happen. Basically, there's an admiral, the new admiral, who is a blind guy with some insane powers on the island. There's some type of fairy, invisible fairies that Zoro's chasing, who tried to steal his swords. Sanji meets a woman who, of course, he falls in love with, and she wants him to assassinate somebody for her. Another group sees CP0 on the island, so there's another CP0 walking around now. There's this huge coliseum where all these different groups are fighting for the Mira Mira fruit, which is Ace's fruit, the fire fruit. And it's Don Quixote's, so he's using this to lure in Luffy, I guess. Because he knows he will want his brother's fruit. I don't know why, he can't eat 2 devil fruits, but... so they have this big Coliseum fight going on. There's tons of just new crews fighting here. The new rookies are just straight up evil, it seems. Like, you have Luffy's group, which was really just a bunch of good pirates like Law and Luffy, Drake, and some others. The guy with the long arms who plays the music, who tried to help them against Kizaru. Like, those pirates, even though they're called the worst generation, were actually relatively good people. There was only a few exceptions, like Kid. But this new group of rookies that came after the Straw Hats with, I have no idea how you say his name, Bartolomeo, are just straight up evil people. And you're getting to see all these people fighting in this Coliseum, and the chapters have been amazing with these fights. So you're meeting all these new groups, and right now they just finished the fight in Block B. With the winner being Bartolomeo, who uses the barrier fruit. And he actually defeats a returning Bellamy. And the winner of the Block A fight was Burgess from the Blackbeard Pirates. So the Blackbeard Pirates are around this island right now. It feels like everything is just coming to a head. But yeah, I think this is going to be a huge arc. You always have like a small arc, like Davy Back fight, Water 7 Enos Lobby, and then you'll have like Thriller Bark, which leads to the Shibondi, and then the Marineford arc. And I think what happened was Fishman Island, Punk Hazard, Dressrosa. And Dressrosa is going to be the shit. And we might even get a flashback for Dressrosa, which I'm looking forward to. So this story arc has everything in it. And as far as this week's chapter goes, I know I'm talking about a whole bunch of different stuff here. I just wanted to catch up since it's been a long time since I've done one of these videos. But as far as this week's chapter goes, we see the group of Law, who's going to Greenbit to meet up with Don Quixote and make the trade for Caesar. So it's Law, Caesar, Usopp, and Robin. And they have to cross this bridge full of these evil, man-eating, flying fish creatures. And once they get to the end, something invisible is able to kill one of these giant fish. So they make it to the island, they're like, what the hell was that? Because you never see it. And then they find out there are Marines on the island too. And it cuts to the Marines, and something tells them to drop their weapons. They refuse, and then everything just gets stripped away instantly. And then Robin tries to catch whatever it is, and then she says, "Got one." And Usopp's like, "What is it?" And she says, "Dwarves." So I have no idea. This arc is just completely insane, but oh my god, is it good. So really looking forward to next week's chapters of all three of these mangas. I think it's some great stuff going on right now. But anyways, I would still have to say, just not based on the arcs in general, but just on the weekly chapters, this week I think I enjoyed Bleach the most. But anyways, that's my review of this week's Weekly Shonen Jump manga chapters. So I hope you guys liked the video. Leave your thoughts on this week's chapters in the comments, and thanks for watching. Bye. I figured I'd wait until the flashbacks were over to start reading those two again, but I still read One Piece every single week, and my god, the stuff going on in One Piece blows my mind, how Oda can come up with this. But I actually wanted to get back into doing the manga reviews a couple weeks ago, but Oda got sick, he had infection. Alright guys, I'm back with another weekly manga review video for Naruto, Bleach, and One Piece. It's been a very long time since I've done one of these. I am up to date on all the chapters now. I kind of slacked off on Naruto and Bleach for a little bit just because they were in these really long flashbacks, so I affected tonsils. So One Piece was kind of on a break for a couple weeks, and I wanted to wait for a week where we got all three chapters. So, starting with Naruto, chapter 633. I think where I left off, Orochimaru was trying to find these people. A good flashback. He explains how he grew up with Madara. They became friends. They wanted to change the world so there would be no more killing. Unite the Senju clan with the Uchiha clan. And something happens. They get into a big fight. Who know everything. So Orochimaru, Sasuke, Jugo, and Suigetsu go and summon the former Hokages. And the first Hokage is telling Sasuke the story of the village, and that's where the flashback starts. And this was actually a really